Oh, that's a great smooth start to the call today. All right, it is 1 o'clock. It is Monday. It is time for the Monday message. So excited to be chatting with everybody today. Just got off the phone with a crazy sharp recruit that I am super excited about joining the team. I'm going to bring a crew with him, and it just so happens to be in a city that I'd already planned to travel to. I'm just telling you, in times of momentum, stuff just works out. And I'm telling you, we got that momentum now. So super excited to be in the studio today, chatting with everybody. Excited to share the numbers. Look, think about this. We had 4 people last week write over $10,000 and not make the top 5. That's the kind of crazy run we were on. You saw the numbers last week. They're awesome again this week. And then the content I'm going to share is all about goals. And I'm going to reference a book to you in a little bit. Well, I'll just reference it to you right now. Goals by Brian Tracy. The best goal setting, goal achievement book I have ever read. Powerful book. I'm going to share some stuff. I'm going to share 9 specific things that will help make goals happen. Because here's the thing. We set goals, and when we miss goals, we are less likely to then set further goals. When we don't set goals, our life becomes directionless. Our life becomes directionless. It just becomes just this gray fog. I don't want that for anybody on the team. I want you excited, achieving, and attacking things. And so that's what I want to talk about goals with you today. But let's get into the numbers from the week that was. All right, let's look at all producers over 1,000. We got Rachel, we got Chantel, we got Kath, we got Sarah, we got Janet Brush, we got Patrick, Chris, Matthew, we got Rogers and Kim, Marissa, Jonathan, Jeanette, we got Crystal, Brianna, Arpita, Cleo, we got Tom, we got Nadir, we got Jason, we got Sydney, Eli, David, Mimi, hey Mimi, Michaela, Haley, Logan, Aaron Wilson, $9,223.80. Rob coming in with $9,314.40. David Fleming coming in $10,139.76. Jeremy Go Edwards, $10,000. This is what I was talking about. The 4 people over 10 grand didn't make the top 5. That's so, I mean, it's I hate it for all of us, but God, it's awesome. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the kind of top 5 I want, where it is tough to get in. I love being around people that compete and win. Jeremy Go Edwards, $10,582. Robert Averett, $11,208. I turned in 8 apps for $11,934.74. Let's look at that top 5. Do I change it on here? How do I do that? Oh, there we go. All right. Woo, look at that. Cisco coming in $12,000. David Helgeson, 8 applications for $12,071.52. Got Irma Moss Bryant, $12,600. Mike Guerra, 8 applications for $22,663.56. Adam Burge dropping $66,000 across 3 applications last week alone. If you have not started getting into estate planning, I would have to imagine it's because of a severe allergy to high paychecks. That would be the only reason to not get into estate planning. If you have a doctor's note that says, I have a severe allergy to big paychecks, then we will absolutely, there is no need to get into estate planning because it will result in an allergic response. I love it. Way to go, Adam. All right, let's look at top 5 paychecks from last week. Aaron Wilson depositing $4,421.16. Mark Hutchison deposited $4,873.14. Nick Greco, $10,450.47 deposited last week. David Helgeson, $10,660 deposited last week. Mike Guerra, top paycheck last week. Last week alone, deposited, not submitted, not could be, money in the bank, $12,797.31. Way to go, Mike Guerra. All right, recruiting continues to happen here. We got the completed fast track. Adam Burge with 1 direct. Rogers and Kim with 2. Devonta with 2. Base Shop had 3. New agent contracts. We had Melissa, Mike Guerra. We had Haley, Rogers and Kim, all with 1 direct contract. And the Base Shop putting in 2 directs. Pre-licensing, Base Shop putting in 1, Rogers and Kim putting in 2, and Devonta putting in 2 into pre-licensing. And again, if you can submit your numbers, we want to give you recognition. We basically get, I believe, 0 data. Is that correct on pre-licensing? They don't report that to us. So yeah, if you get someone in pre-licensing, we want to celebrate it. We want to recognize it. Travel schedule coming up. We've got family reunion in Burlington, July 17th through the 20th. I will be leaving out of there. I'll be going to Detroit on the 28th, San Diego on the 29th. We had a kickoff meeting in San Diego. The intent and the goal is to do a monthly meeting out there and get that thing going. Brian Allendorf providing leadership out there. Mimi providing leadership out there. I am so excited. If you're not recruiting in Southern California, start recruiting in Southern California. I'm just telling you. Great place to go tax deductibly as well, I might add. And then we've got our boot camp here at the office, August 15th through the 16th. We love having those boot camps here. Come in from all over the country. Come in and spend some time with us. You will get concentrated doses of time and training. We will collapse learning curves for you. That's it? All righty. So let's get to the content. Here's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about goals. When most people set goals, they give it a little bit of a run and then they give up, right? We've all seen people do that with fitness goals, right? This is the year, this is the time, I'm gonna get in shape. By beach season, I will be shredded, right? I will be just raw steel and just, right? And then by February, we're done. We see people set goals for, I'm gonna win the trip. You're never gonna go on another one of those trips without me. And then don't make the trip. So what happens, right? Because some people set goals and achieve, right? And you see that from the outside, and it's almost like mystifying. Like how does that work? What's different? I set a goal. I wrote it down. I made a vision board. But what's different between me and them, right? I've been on that side of things. I have been on that side of things where it's confusing. I'm like, well, I thought goal setting worked. Let me tell you something. The right kind of goal setting works. The wrong kind of goal setting is actually discouraging. The wrong kind of goal setting actually can set you back. And so that's why I want to, as we come into family reunion, I got people that are going to make a big run this second half of the year. I want us to hit the goals we set. I know several of you guys have been like, I am making Thailand no matter what. Fantastic. Let's go. So I want to give you specific things that will help make the goals you set work for you. Now, here's the thing. Goal setting is never 100% because we can't control 100% of everything. We can control our attitude and our actions, which gives us 98% of the way there. But there will be some things that will happen that are just unfortunate that will mess up your goal. It doesn't mean that the goal setting didn't work. Let's reset the goal and go back at it. So what I want to give you is specific stuff. If you do it like this, you will achieve more of your goals than you'll miss. If you do it like this, you will be thriving and happy and have direction. Like I said earlier, when we don't set, it becomes redundant, right? You ever feel like, man, I'm in a rut. Man, I'm in a rut. Goals, working towards something bigger, that's how you get out of a rut. Because a rut, by the way, the only difference between a rut and a grave is time, depth, and duration. So the sooner you can get out of a rut, that'll keep it from becoming a grave. Goal setting, goal achievement, chasing something bigger in all areas of life that matter, by the way, because the same stuff that I'm going to talk about here, I'm going to make a lot of business application to it. But let me tell you, the same thing works. You set a goal in your family, set a goal in your physical fitness, in your finances. All those areas, goal setting is vital to living a full life, to being a high achiever. All high achievers are goal setting and goal driven people. All high achievers. There's not a single high achiever that's like, yeah, no, I never really set a goal. Things just always just kind of worked out for me. You won't find it. High achievers are goal setting, goal chasing, goal achieving machines. That's what you and I need to be. That's what gives you fire in life. You ever see people with no fire? It's because they're not chasing anything. When you start chasing something, that brings fire. So let me give you 9 things. The first thing, this is vital, 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 and it's at the beginning for a reason. Every goal has to be clear and specific, and I mean crystal clear. Low achievers set fuzzy goals. They set fuzzy goals. They set goals that, don't really, it's hard to nail them down, right? What's a specific, clear goal? I'm winning Thailand. Why is that clear and specific? Because you will either win Thailand or you will not win Thailand. I am going to go agency manager by national convention. Okay, clear and specific. You will either go agency manager or you will not. I'm going to become an integrity partner. Okay, you will either become an integrity partner, specific, clear goals. Now, God love these people. They're like, I just try and get up every day and compete with the person in the mirror. I just try to be better than the me from yesterday. Give me a break. That is so just weak and vanilla. You know, you can't, how are you going to document that, right? A goal has to be clear and specific. Now, y'all know I love stuff that's easy to remember. I always love it when I teach sales training. I teach the 3 C's of connection, and they're like, "Well, you know, you can actually say it like this." No, no, no. They all got to start with C. It makes it easier on my brain, right? Or I'll do the 4 S's of the sales process. I'm like, no, 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 no. I have to. It makes it easy for my brain. So this is easy for my brain. Now you might be far more advanced, and that's cool. But for my brain, acronyms work. So here's the acronym. It's SMART, right? So when you're thinking about a goal, is it SMART? Is it specific? Does it have that crystal clear specificity where it will be clear to the universe that you hit it or did you not, or that you did not hit it? So that's the S. The M is measurable. You've got to be able to measure your progress. It's one of the things I love on the ARC. You log in on the ARC, it's measurable whether or not you're on pace to win Thailand. It's very measurable. Where are you at in your month? We met as an office, as a base shop team. We're like, look, here's where our recruiting number is. We are behind. We are behind on the most important lead measure. We got to get moving. If you don't have something measurable like that, it's too easy to just, well, we're just all doing our best in here. No, 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 no. What's the number say? It's got to be measurable. The third is it's got to be achievable. And now, hear me out, okay? Remember, strength is in the middle, right? Achievable, like my goal is to get up on time tomorrow. Fantastic. La-di-da, right? My goal is to run a marathon tomorrow. Bro, you ain't been working out. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't ready. Andy Riddle did his Everesting thing, and it was just interesting to see his progress and just go, dude, because that dude, when he does that, like, he is insane committed to his physical routines. What was he did in Mexico? He did like a 6-hour workout one of the days. You know, we're all having margaritas on the beach. Riddle's in the gym 6 hours because he wants to win his Everesting thing. See, he's in shape to do that. But if we're like, I'm going to do it, because he's had agents go with him before, like, I'm going to do it, and he's like, they don't last 2 hours because they haven't been. Does this make sense? So you got to set something that you can achieve. Anybody on this phone, if you can hear my voice, you can win Thailand. If you can hear my voice, you can be a $40,000 a month producer. If you can hear my voice, you can be one of the top estate planning people in the entire alliance. 100%. If you can hear my voice, you can become an integrity partner. But it's got to be achievable along the way. Does that make sense? Like, set a goal that you can achieve, that's going to stretch you, but not break you. Does that make sense? That's why I use the illustration of, okay, my goal is tomorrow to run a marathon. Well, that's not really realistic. What is an achievable goal? I'm going to run a mile tomorrow. I haven't been running at all, but a mile, I'm going to do a mile tomorrow. See, does it make sense? That enough to stretch you, but not break you. So it's got to be achievable. And number 4, the SMART, right? SMART, it's got to be relevant. It's got to be something that matters to you. It's got to be something that touches your heart. And then the T in SMART is time bound. There has to be a deadline, there has to be a date, and you have to be able to watch as you're getting closer to that. So that's clear, specific goals. That is the reason it's the number one thing is because it's the number one thing. It is the number one thing in setting goals. It's got to be clear and specific. Otherwise, it's too easy to explain it away. If you can explain away a goal, it's not a real goal, it's just a wish. But if it's specific and clear and measurable, then you've got something. All right, number 2, it has to be values aligned. You set the goal, and then you have to do the work to align it with your values, right? So one of my personal values is excellence. Excellence in everything that matters, right? I want excellence in my marriage. I want excellence in my relationship with my children. I want excellence in my spiritual life. I want excellence in my business. And if it matters, I want excellence. Does it make sense? Like, I'm going to pay for it with my life. Everything, and by the way, you're paying for everything you're doing with your life. Like, I think if more people did that before they just start doom scrolling on social media, they'd go, well, let's go ahead and I'm going to commit some of my life to this. You're paying with life, right? So why not Why not reach for excellence in the areas that matter, right? So that's one of my values. Anytime I set a goal, then I align that with my values, like excellence, like integrity. When you align a goal with your values, it is very hard to put it down. When you align a goal with a value, like let's say your goal is to win Thailand. Okay, so that's my goal. Why? Well, excellence is one of my personal values, right? Integrity is one of my values. I want to keep my word. I want to do what I'm supposed to do when I'm supposed to do it in the spirit of service I'm supposed to do it in. Well, if you align that with your values, it's dang hard to only put in 200 dials in a week. When there's a weak dial count, it's not an ability problem. It's a values problem. It's not an ability problem. It's not a motivation problem. It's a values problem. So are your values aligned with your goals? Do the work, draw it out on paper. Help yourself see the values that you have that are tied to this goal. That will give you motivation. That will help you reach deep on the tough days. That will help you do it when you don't want to do it. By the way, are there times that I don't want to do the stuff I'm supposed to do? Yeah, because I'm a person, right? But when it's about my values, then I got to do it. I got to do it like I'm supposed to do it in the spirit of service I'm supposed to do it in, because it's a values issue to me. Does that make sense? All right. So once we get clear, specific goals, we've drawn it out, we've figured out which one of our values, and it can be multiple values, align with this goal. So we've got that crystal clear. Now we need to break it down. You need mile markers. Where people get in trouble with goals is they don't build mile markers into the goal. They set the goal. I'm going to win Thailand. Woohoo! Awesome. How much premium do you need to have done your first quarter? How much premium do you need to have done your first month? Does that make sense? Like the big goal, then you got to chunk it down, is what Brian Tracy tells you. Chunk it down, break it down. What are the mile markers on the way there, right? That's why as I'm always just trying to push people into estate planning. I'm like, okay, so go ahead and set the date for the mailing, because that's an important. If the goal is I'm going to get into estate planning, but there's no mile markers like you've got to get this done by then it's just going to be just a feel-good thing we'll say and not do. So break it down. The big goal, but what are the mile markers I got to hit? That way you'll know if you're ahead or behind. If you don't know if you're ahead or behind, it is dang hard to accomplish something. So am I ahead or behind? Okay, I'm behind. What do I got to do? Time for mandatory overtime. I talked about this with Jeremico one time, right? Because Jeremico worked in a factory before he did this. When a factory cannot complete all the orders it has sold, what do? They go, well, guess it's just not in the cards. Oh, well. No, what is it? It's called mandatory overtime. Mandatory overtime. But what if mandatory overtime? So when you know your mile markers, if you're behind, mandatory overtime. That will keep you on pace. Does that make sense? Because what you don't want to do is get so far behind that you give up. So crystal clear goals, tie it to your values, and then chunk it down. Chunk it down to the things you need to do to win the overall goal, the overall game. Once you chunk it down, now, number 4, create a plan. And a plan has to be drawn out. When people say, I've got it all in my head, I hear you. That's not going to work. A plan has to be on paper. Think about this. When football teams are preparing for the big Sunday game, the head coach like, I pretty much got it in my head, guys. I got it in my head. I know what we need to do. Yeah, that's fine. No, everything is visual. Everything is visible. They have a game plan for how they plan on winning the game. If you and I are going to achieve goals, we have to have a clear plan, right? What does that plan look like? What does the schedule look like? What does the lead investment look like, right? I'm going to win Thailand, but I don't schedule enough time to sell and I don't invest enough in leads. The plan is going to fail me. So get the plan down and then get somebody's eyes on it that knows what it takes. And they can tell you if it's achievable. If this formula will work, they'll tell you, right? Get someone that knows that, someone that's been there, a tour guide that can say, that formula is not going to work. What you actually need to do is you're going to need to commit more dial time here, more investment in leads, and that will be a more workable plan. So create a plan on paper, visual, and then get some coaching on it. Get a read from someone that has been there before. Create that plan, schedule. Here's the other part of the plan. What habits do I need to develop? What habits do I need to drop? Because habits might be one of the top goal killers in the world. We set a goal, and then our habits destroy the goal. So what habits do I need? What habits do I need to get rid of, right? So my habit is to get up at this time. Well, if I want to achieve Thailand, my habit needs to be, I need to get up at this time. I need to get my workout in by this time. What habits? Because your habits are either going to ensure the completion of the goal, or they're going to ensure the falling short of the goal. What habits? What systems do I need? What systems do I need in place? And then here's the third thing on planning. What obstacles am I likely to see, and what will I do when? Right? What obstacles am I likely to see? I'm going to win Thailand. What's an obstacle I'm likely to see? Well, I'm likely to have some crazy person cuss me out, yell at me, hang up the phone. What am I going to do then? Am I going to shrivel up, or will I have a plan to re-encourage, re-energize, revitalize myself? What obstacles am I likely to? I'm likely to run into my own internal discouragement. So what am I going to do? I'm going to read every day. Can you see, like, having a plan is more than just a schedule. It's building a plan that will get you to winning that goal. And touching on all those levels, again, it's habits, systems, and obstacles. What habits do I need to drop? What habits do I need to add? What systems do I need to have in place? And what obstacles am I likely to face? And what will I do when? Because that's another big goal killer, is thinking there won't be obstacles. There will be obstacles. If it's worth doing, there will be obstacles. And I'll tell you this, the more worth doing it is, the bigger the obstacles you're going to face. So get your mind right. Get your mind right. Get ready. You are going to face obstacles. So have a plan. Have a plan. Well, when this thing hits, my plan is I'm going to call so-and-so, because they always encourage me. When this thing hits, I'm going to drop down and do 10 push-ups and shift my physiology and get back on the phone, get it. Have a plan. Have a plan. All right. Number 5, track your progress. Right? Can you see how these all kind of tie together? Once you have a plan, now it's time to get started. Track your progress. How good did I do? Did I do the things I was supposed to do? Where am I at? We tend to want to watch lag measures, which is like production, right? We look at a leaderboard, that's a lag measure. That tells us what had happened, right? We want to track our lead measures, right? Did I make 800 phone calls this week like I'm supposed to? Did I talk to 10 recruits this week so that I will hit my recruiting number? Track your progress, track your progress. Now, here's what I'll tell you. The human tendency, and this is just human tendency, the human tendency is to start to hide when we start to fall behind. We start to hide from watching the lead measures. We don't want to look at it. We don't want to look at it because I'm falling behind. No, that's when you need to lean in. Again, it's part of your plan, right? Lean in, go, I have fallen behind. Mandatory overtime next week. Mandatory overtime. Here's the thing. When you're tracking the progress, it's going to tell you how well you are doing on honoring your values. We go right back to number 2. When you're tracking the progress, am I doing the things that honors my values? If not, I got to pick it up, because I'm going to honor my values. Remember, number 2, very, very important. Number 6, this is big. And again, strengths in the middle, right? Stay consistent, not perfect. Let me tell you something. What kills, well, actually, let me talk to you about this, right? Fitness goals. Nobody misses their fitness goals because they missed one day at the gym. It's because the one day they miss turns into 20 days they miss. It's the all or nothing thought process of the low achievers, right? Well, if I can't lose all 20 pounds this week, I might as well eat the whole bag of potato chips. No, you're going to goof up. You're going to fall short. It's going to happen. That's where staying consistent, not perfect, is key. If you're trying to stay perfect and you fall short, because you will, if you fall short and you're focused on being perfect, the discouragement is going to cause you to slide further down the spiral. If your focus is on consistency, you'll recognize, yeah, I goofed up. That's pathetic. I only made 80 phone calls today. But tomorrow, I am going to make 350 to catch up because I'm consistent. I'm not perfect, but by God, I'm consistent. When you're striving for perfection, you're setting yourself up for discouragement. Strive for consistency. Don't worry about perfection. Just be consistent. Be consistent. You say, well, what you're saying is kind of self-contradictory because if I'm consistent, then I would be perfect. Hear me out. When you strive for perfect, you'll beat yourself up when you make mistakes. When you're striving for consistency, you'll pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and go, yep, that was dumb, Davies. Tomorrow, I'm going to do better because I'm going to be consistent. That makes sense? All right. Number 7. This is key. This is where you need coaching. Review and adjust. So let's say my goal is to win Thailand. I've got it figured out. I know exactly how much premium I need to do in July, in August, in September, October, November, and December. But dear God, don't let it get down to the last week of December. Please don't do that. Every year. Hey, so this policy is going to issue January 2nd, but it really should count towards December for me, and that would put me over the goal barely to win the. Don't just have it knocked out far before then, right? But as you look at each month, as you go through the month, review and adjust. I put in the dials that I needed to, but I didn't get the results. I need more leads. So I'm going to adjust. I'm going to invest more in leads. I invested enough in leads. I didn't get enough dials. I've got to adjust my schedule, my calendar, my call time. I've got to cut other stuff out. Review and adjust. Review and adjust. Again, this kind of works hand in hand with the previous one, right? Consistent, not perfect. When we're striving for consistent, we're going to have to review and adjust. We're going to have to review and adjust. I've not been getting my reading done every morning like I'm supposed to. I'm going to have to start getting up a half an hour earlier because there's not enough. It's just not working like that. So I've got to adjust. When you do that, when you make those adjustments, then you are getting closer and closer and closer and closer to winning. All right, number 8, seek accountability. Excuse me. The highest achievers are always seeking accountability. They want to be held accountable. Low achievers, they don't want any accountability. They don't want any accountability. No one's measuring my numbers. I remember I was talking with a low performer one time, and he was like, I'll never report my numbers. Like, okay, you won't accomplish much. I'm just going to tell you. You might be the one. You might be the one that can go against all the norms of success and winning, and maybe you're the one, but God, and guess what? Didn't win. You've got to seek accountability. Accountability, we need accountability, especially those, good Lord, remember the part where we're in sales? That means we're good at convincing people. Guess who we convince a lot? Ourselves. Accountability, you can't get around it. And I'm just like, I am just like you. I wish that accountability wasn't a thing. I wish I could do whatever I want, whenever I want, however I want, and everything would go exactly as I want. But that's not how it works. Accountability. Seek accountability. Share. I was teaching this at a hotspot, and I said, my wife can see my calendar. And afterwards, somebody was like, I would never let my spouse see my calendar. And I was like, why? Well, I don't want to be under that kind of scrutiny. I was like, that's weird, bro. Me and Holly, we're doing life together. So she should know what I'm supposed to be doing when I'm supposed to do it, right? Seek accountability. Share your calendar with your spouse. Share your goals with people. The low achievers, here's what they do. They set a goal and they whisper it into their hands. I'm going to win Thailand. And then they put it down, put it away. And then if it happens, great. But if not, no one knew about it, so I don't have to be embarrassed. Let me tell you something. The price of clarity is the risk of embarrassment. I'll say it again. The price of clarity is the risk of embarrassment. So be accountable, be loud, tell everybody your goal. Tell everybody your goal. Broadcast it to the world, put it up everywhere. And then broadcast what you're supposed to be doing and when you're supposed to do it and the spirit of service you're supposed to do it in. I'm just telling you, if you could just give up this whole thing about accountability and just lean in and start seeking accountability, I'm telling you, it is the path to achievement. And again, I'm with you. I'm with you. I hear you. I wish I didn't have to be accountable. I wish, right? I wish I didn't have to have an actual calendar. I'd love to just, wake up every morning, put my flip-flops on and just have everything work out all the time. But I've got to have a calendar. I've got to have a calendar and I've got to have accountability. So just lean in with me, right? And let me tell you something. Once you get comfortable being uncomfortable with being super accountable, there's actually great comfort and safety in being accountable and having accountability partners. There's great comfort and safety in that because I know I'm going to operate better by being accountable. All right, last one, and this is big, all things in balance. Celebrate milestones. Remember, we go back to number 5, right? Mile markers. We have the mile. As we hit mile markers, celebrate. Celebrate. Lock in that feeling. When I teach sales training, I teach about the song you play on the way home from selling or at the end of the day of selling to lock in those wins. Celebrate those milestones. Hey, you hit your activity goal for today, right? Don't go crazy, right? Bottle of Dom Perignon over here. I made 200 phone calls. No. Celebrate the milestones and get back to work. Celebrate the milestones. The bigger the milestone, then the more you can celebrate, right? You go win Thailand. Yeah, we'll open a bottle of champagne together at National Convention. Go win Thailand. We'll do that, right? But celebrate the milestones along the way. I hit my production number. I hit my dial count, right? Celebrate the milestones along the way to feed your self-encouragement, to build up your self-esteem, to build up your self-confidence, and then get right back at it. Guys, these 9 things have helped me immensely in my life. I know they will help you too. I know they will for a fact. They work. Buy that book, Goals by Brian Tracy. It's the best goal-setting, goal achievement book that I have ever read. I've read it multiple times. It's one of those books. I've got a few books that I have read multiple times. That is a multiple time reader. Goals by Brian Tracy, guys. Here's what I know. All the good stuff in life, all the stuff worth achieving takes goals to achieve. Anything worth having, anything that brings fulfillment, anything that's going to feed your heart, it's going to take goals to achieve. So if you and me work together on this, I'm telling you, we can accomplish more than you ever can imagine right now. We tend to underestimate what we can do in 30 days. We tend to overestimate what we can do in 30 days, but I promise you, we way underestimate what we get accomplished in 2 to 5 years with some serious goals. So let's set some goals. Let's do these 9 things. Let's get out. Let's get after it. Guys, Holly and I love you. We want you to win more than you can possibly understand. I'm going to be out on the road. We got family reunion coming up. We've got a very, very, very vital cog in the calendar right now with July that will set the pace for the rest of the year. Let's get after it. Let's get after it together.